Hello, these are my reflections on All Saints' Day. It's an odd place to start, but my question is, did you ever play tennis? Do you play tennis? I think being saintly has a connection to tennis, not often made in sermons in Anglican churches, but here we go. I first played tennis when I was about 12 or 13. The point of the game was to see how many times the two of us could get the ball back and forth across the net without it going out of play. It was a cooperative endeavour. We felt great when we got into double figures. The next summer came and it was all about the serve. Ideally, the serve did not go into the net. We had moved from throwing the ball down and hitting it as it came up to throwing it up and hitting it as it came down. Overhead serving, it was called. If you could serve and get it across 3 times running, it was a major cause of celebration. Towards the end of that summer, the point moved towards making it difficult for the other person to get the ball back. Serves and returns no longer caused celebration just for making it over. Now the point had become to make it difficult for the other person to get the ball back. Clearly, we were heading for Wimbledon. There were other sports at school, but I mostly disliked them. What was the point of running? Walking was more pleasant, and if you were in a hurry, that's what bicycles were for. Rugby was mostly about crashing into people and sliding in the mud in the continual rain of autumn and winter in England. I was off sick for the first week of the penultimate year of school. I had to go a week late to register with the games teachers, or the phys ed teachers as we call it now. Walking across the school grounds to do so, it suddenly occurred to me that unregistered as I was, and in a school with well over 1,000 kids, I did not actually exist in their consciousness. So they wouldn't miss me. I decided to leave it like that, and thereafter spent my Thursday afternoons taking a 3-mile walk downtown and then wandering pleasantly in the art galleries of Bristol before walking home another 2 miles. So I did get my phys ed. So back to all the saints. All those called saints, are they particularly good at anything? Do saints excel in areas of unusual asceticism? Are they noticeably good? Do they compulsively help old ladies cross the street? Are they so selfless that they forget to eat supper? Jesus has a list of characteristics: poor in spirit, mournful, meek, hungry and thirsty for righteousness, merciful, pure in heart, peacemakers, persecuted because of their persistent righteousness, generally disliked or even badly thought of. This feels about as attractive as playing rugby in the rain. For me, tennis was about joyfulness. It was, at its best, when we came off the court, both happy, delighted with the shots we had done best, which returns we had pulled off, and with congratulations for the effort and skill that the other had shown. Winning and losing was tangential. I'm with the psalmist today as we look at saints. I like the idea of praise being continually in my mouth, to boast not in myself but in the Lord. I think it is good when the humble shall be glad, and how cool to be exalting God and magnifying her or him. How about living your life so that you look to God when you are in difficulty and realizing as you get out of difficulty, that is, that God helped you to get out. The idea of radiant life based in living consciously in the presence of God seems compelling to me. I would like to lead a life in which the angel of the Lord encamps around me. What a delightful image. You go to bed at night and quietly there are angels unrolling their tents all around your house or bedroom. Surrounded by fragments of the divine, you can sleep in peace, in safety, and even if, that night, you die. Taste and see. Happy are they who take refuge in the divine, honour God and have no want, lack no truly good thing. Know that none who live like this will ever be condemned. John says, look, we are God's children. We don't really know precisely what this means, but it is good. The divinity sown into us in our creation, made as we are in the image of God. If we work to bring it out in our living of this life, this will unite us with God in ways that we cannot now comprehend. The point of tennis is that it is fun. It is celebratory to play tennis. Working at it to get better is so that you may both have more fun, and it deepens friendship. Sport is for the fun of it, with the tangential benefits of keeping your body in good shape so that your health keeps up and things don't start to fall apart on you. Similarly, the spiritual life of feeling your way into the divine is a joyful thing. It should be joyful. It too benefits from a discipline of practice and an avoidance of things which inhibit it. You already know what leads you away from God's presence and from being in God's presence. You also know roughly what opens the door of your soul to welcoming the Holy Spirit into your heart. Trust your instincts. And as with sport, if you hate rugby, for heaven's sakes, don't play it. If you adore cycling, walking, or even Tai Chi, do them. Do the things that work for you, the things that bring you joy and happiness, not the things that feel like a drudge and a grind and an awful discipline that you don't want. Saints are not just those dead people with saint in front of their names. Saints come from the Latin sanctus, meaning holy. Saints are people living in holiness of life, of heart, of relationship, and of joyfulness. Being a saint is simply being holy. Being holy is simply being saintly. Neither of them need to be trumpeted or observed by others. It's quietly true. Holiness is found by building a way of being a spiritual practice, paying attention to a question like, how would I feel if Jesus was just behind me? A question like that you could ask yourself at any moment of the day. That's a great way of building a spiritual practice. There are others and there are books written about them and you should read them. But it can be very simple. It's like trying to be the best tennis player you can while encouraging the other person to be their best too. At the end, the score doesn't matter. The joyfulness at the end of the game matters. How holy you thought you needed to be a saint, I think is irrelevant. It is the desire to play with God that alone counts and invites you to be a member of all saints. It is within reach. It is not far from you. It is not impossible. It is an invitation. Happy All Saints' Day to you.